Previously on Brad the Builder.
I want to give you guys an update on the pond that I've been working on for almost a year, but I'm doing something totally different than what Flair's doing. This literally is going to be a big kind of a swimming pool. So I'm putting in a liner, and the liner guaranteed to hold water. It's not going to be a fishing pond. I can put fish in it, but it's kind of a filtration system in it. And that's the rim that you see down below. There's a ledge all the way down there. That's going to be about 4 to 5 foot below the water level. What that's going to do is have a filter system all the way around that runs back just like you have in a swimming pool, but all that will be hidden underneath a bunch of rock and gravel. The water will not quite reach the top of the road over here, but it will just be, there's some yellow flags. That is going to represent the top of the water, which will be about 2 foot down from the top of the dam. If it stays dry, which it's been dry in our state for quite some time, fingers crossed I can get it in and then let it rain. I've been trying to get my pond pumped out. We were ready to go to put the liner in. Remember the race I had against Flair? I've totally lost that race. But so now I'm just trying to get the darn thing done. We've had record rains in May. This is now towards the end of June. And the pond actually is doing a good job holding water, which I don't want because I need to get the liner in this pond, and I need to get the liner that's sitting in my ditch because a tornado blew it in there. So that's going to be a Chad the Dirt Guy video helping us get that thing out of the ditch. But right now, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with trash pumps. They're a pain in the butt. So I went and got my brother-in-law's old trash pump to save some money, worked on it for 2 days, got it running, and the thing does nothing but leak water. It doesn't work. Fire hoses, those are heavy. So then I just went and bought my own trash pump that's not quite big, but it's doing the job. I'm on day 2. So now I'm gonna climb in the water and move that suction hose out a little bit farther. So while I'm at work, this thing keeps pumping water. So sorry that you have to see me without a shirt. If you're not used to this, this is where you wanna turn the video off. So get ready. The reason why I put this tarp down is I thought it would help divert the water that's coming down the hill, coming out very quickly, help disperse it, because I didn't want a big erosion. This road has been washed out because of the record rains we've had, but the gravel seems to be helping and it's making its way down to the creek. So once we get this all pumped out, then I'll come back and fix this road once and for all. But I talked to Chad the Dirt Guy. He recommends maybe just regrading it and then again just putting down some more rock. So that's what we're going to do. You guys can guess and see how many days it's going to take me to pump that pond down. We're on the first 24 hours, and you can see it's only dropped about 3 foot. So give me a guess. This thing did nothing. It took us forever to find it, and then we got all the hoses hooked up, and then it pulls on one start, which is great. But then the time I pulled it, this cord came out and stayed out. So then I had to take it all apart. Once I got it running, got the hoses going, the bottom side seals just leaked like a sieve. So there was a lot of work put into nothing. So then now I'm back to day 3, getting this thing pumped out. You can see how it's coming down, but man, that mud is knee deep, and that's what I'm about to get back into. It's out of gas. I let it run as far as it could last night till it ran out of gas. So I'm gonna come in, get in the water, and move that thing out a little bit farther. There's a bullfrog over there looking at me right now. This is his pond. He's not too happy with what I'm doing. Other things I had to do, this thing goes through a lot of gas. So I went to the gas station, filled all these things up. It's 100 degrees right now. It's gonna be heated of 110, and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna get in the water, be refreshing, and take a mud bath. Sorry, little frog. My goal is to get this pond down. It'll be nice when it's all done, but there's one across the street that maybe he could find his way to. Funny how these ponds, how the wildlife just finds them. There's tons of tadpoles. I caught a little one in the drain. That was kind of sad. It's a muddy mess. There we go. Oh, I don't think it's the last time for me to go down there. The shallower it gets, the more difficult it gets for me to move that little trash pump out. I went and got a bunch of logs, and I laid them down and rolled the generator down them just like the Romans did, so they say. That frog's keeping a close eye on me. He's right over there. I'll zoom in on him. So Chad the dirt guy is out here right now. I don't know if you remember when they put my solar panels in, I wasn't around, and they set the panels facing west. The best location, so I understand, is to have them facing south so you get a lot of the winter sun and summer sun. So we're creating a new pad site. Since the tornado came through and the hail, we had to take them all down and put them back up again. Fix some panels, so that was a perfect opportunity to have Chad come in with his bulldozer, create a new pad site so they face that direction, which is south. So that's what we're doing, and I'm going to spend a little more time putting down paper underneath it, like a landscape matting, and then rock, so none of the weeds and stuff grow up underneath it. So I'm trying to do this, take the extra time now, do it right so it looks nice. So let me know what you guys think. If you got some suggestions on what is a good preventer of weeds growing through once I put down the rocks. I'm trying to do it right the first time, once and done, keep the maintenance to a minimum so I can finally get my pond done and hang out there in my inner tube, have a margarita, and enjoy the sun. That's coming hopefully real soon. Making pretty good progress, but I got my Sunday school clothes on, so I'm dreading the idea of having to go change my clothes to climb down there and get into the mud to move that bucket out into the middle. I still see that little frog. He's paying attention, wondering if I'm going to stop and keep his pond. I'm going to have to move him to the other side of the road. That is some thick mud, and it's 105 degrees out here right now, so I should go for another swim. What drives me crazy is all these weeds. I'm gonna have Chad see if he can take that cat and come around and scrape all these weeds off, get it all cleaned up like where we were when we were ready to put the tarp down, except for the tornado blew it in the ditch. So that was at least 2 months ago. Time goes by so fast. Now we're gonna get all this cleaned up, let this hole dry out, find a way to get that liner out of the ditch, which Chad says we can use Flair's excavator, come up and he can lift it up on back on the driveway where it was at one time. I'll show you where it's at. It was sitting right here where my side-by-side is. Wind blew it all the way down the hill. And there it is, still in the ditch in all its glory. As you can see, the trash pump, which was clearly up on somewhat muddy, dry land, is now underwater because of last night's rain. I told my wife I'd be better off if I procrastinated. I'd be farther ahead. So every time I take a couple steps forward, I take about 10 back. This darn weather can't get this thing done. As you can see, I'm not showing it too much in my face, but I'm getting very frustrated with this pond.